So this is the mountain that I recorded the other day as being moving. It's hard when I'm moving as well. So what I want to try is to press my phone against the glass of the window so that it's steady. Oh, it doesn't want to. All right, there. That's steadier. So you can gauge whether or not it's moving up and down to you. Now, I called a conservation and they haven't contacted me back other than one that said they didn't see it moving. But this place in Texas said that's an oil gusher. And they said if you're only offered $1,200 a week for finding oil on your property, you're being ripped off. Should be so much more. The other thing is the size of this particular mountain and the level of movement that it was doing the other day is dangerous. Like an entire town in Texas was destroyed because of an oil gusher. And you could see it shifted to the right and went down. It seems to move rather rapidly, which is why I thought, am I hallucinating? Now my phone is moving side to side, but it's not moving up and down. Like, wait, let me brace it. I'm going to brace it better. All right, so I believe this area in upstate New York is being fleeced. Well, the people in the area of upstate New York, for example, are being fleeced, where their mind's eyes are being ripped open and people are having a free-for-all, free for anybody to treat as a quote-unquote suppressive from the Church of Scientology, and that makes them fair game. But it's a falsity. It is a lie. Anybody that were to say any sort of negative connotation to the Church of Scientology within earshot of somebody who at the time was a Scientologist could easily abuse that if fair game is even considered something that is a regular practice and is considered okay with the eyes of the law. I understand that if somebody is in the Sea Org or higher and they leave or become suppressive, sometimes fair game things can happen. Not that that's something anybody wants, but I'm just saying to sit there and count the average citizen as suppressive is, I believe now, is a lie. That these people are in different branches of the military and were at one time Scientologists enough to learn how to audit people. And so they're using the two techniques in order to fleece a people where right in America the soil is rich with oil. There's less movement, but you see this mountain is now getting more level. When it was more of the shape of a triangle, it is now moved to look like a little moon, like another planet, sort of volcano on another old like cartoon for the dinosaur age. So I know that my mind is often studied, and I was saying some odd things about going into the West and things like that. Well, it was sort of a gods must be crazy kind of a thing, because I was thinking that this entire ridgeline was the back of some kind of Godzilla monster, and that this was now coming alive. So I don't know if somebody was giving me a new medication with my morning breakfast and it just got the best of me, because I was moved away from that guy that was smoking the odd things. Since I've been on this floor, I have not been exposed to any smoke. But that doesn't mean that if I'm exposed to that smoke that I'm not somehow having days of after effects. Only to say that if you found me to be speaking a little weirdly, my phone wasn't lying. But if it makes you uncomfortable, this is a second video and you could see that it's moving like it's alive. Well, what could cause an entire mountain to move like it is alive other than some kind of liquid under it? Some kind of liquid underneath the mountain that is like very directly underneath it. And there's probably a lot of people who would love to study what's happening so that they know geologically what it might be. But just in the opinion of these Texans, they're like, that's an oil gusher. And I said to an environmental conservationist, I said, I think it's an oil gusher according to these Texas guys. And we're friends from Texas. So could it be that our government has betrayed us here in upstate New York? And if these Catskill Mountains were never really volcanic, that they were always some other form of fossil fuel, sort of a rich line, and then they hide it under in Rensselaer County's mountains as being part of a landfill. But I think that landfill is a cover so that they can continuously pump and drill. Well, you can see what I'm accusing our government of. And a lot of people have to talk amongst themselves, if not with me, or I want it to get to me, because I'll go to an old friend's house and they've moved. And I'm like, well, I thought it was this big charade to drive me crazy, but what if they sold out? What if somebody just on the spot said, I'll give you this much for your property? And it was such a good offer, they did it. And people are arriving to like relatives and friends, not having somebody else's in their house because somebody made a quick offer to them. So the peak I'm talking about is this one. It's this last one before these little itty bitty ones. And so I saw black liquid bubbles coming off of this mountain the other day in my recording. Well, it's getting to be lengthy, so I'm going to upload this one to my YouTube account. I'm trying to get it right, but I have 2 phones and a whole bunch of accounts as I try to navigate electronics based on just bang on it until it does something that I want it to do. So I jokingly said I needed to figure out what's happened in my hometown, and I even made up my own business called Rachline Investigates. Everything was fun and games, and I was a comedian for a long time, but my health is a little bit failing, and I'm saying, what is happening? Why is everybody treating me like fair game? Well, they must have had our area in their sights for a very long time, and now this is what's being revealed, is that these peaks are not volcanic, they're rich in oil.